Hi there, I'm Renee and you're watching Movie Juice. Ever wanted to be a high roller and clean up at Vegas? Well, a bunch of students studied the cards and did it in real life. Their rise and fall is now a movie called 21 starring Kevin Spacey, Kate Bosworth and Jim Sturgis. Here's a report from our US correspondent, Sal Morgan.
Boy, genius. You have to follow me now.
You ever studied blackjack?
Are you talking about counting cards?
As a team, yes.
Where?
Welcome to Vegas.
What if we get caught? Counting cards isn't illegal.
16, sweet 16, plus 17. Every card had a value, plus 13. A high card, plus 5, minus 1. A low card, plus 15. 1. The rest, plus 1. 0. Plus 13, plus 8, plus 9, plus 12.
You became involved in this project right from the start. What was it about the true story that really got you interested?
We'd heard these sort of like secret society, MIT kids maybe working in teams going to Vegas, and we couldn't ever get anybody to confirm. It was like this known secret, but nobody was talking about it.
When I first heard about this story, I was absolutely intrigued by it and couldn't quite believe that these five young kids, they were so young and they went to Vegas and just beat the system. And I think, you know, everyone has the desire to do that. Everyone sits there and goes, I want to do that, I want to learn how to do that.
Jeff Ma, who, the story is, you know, all based on events that kind of happened in his life. I met up with him very early on, spent 2 weeks with him just hanging out in Vegas, you know, just kind of, he just corrupted me, basically, as I kind of hung out with him.
Did he teach you anything? Have you got some tips you can share with us?
Yeah, he tried. You know, he tried to, he taught me the kind of theory of, you know, card counting, which I understood eventually, but, I mean, to put it into practice was just near impossible for me and my very weak mathematical mind.
Clark, I think I got something over here. So take a look at this. He's a kid. He was on the tape from last week. Got a big roll and he's crushing your table. Plus he ordered a tonic and lime.
Oh, tonic and lime. What does that mean?
It means he wants you to think he's drinking.
Now, are you wearing sunnies today because you've had a big night here in Vegas?
Oh, of course, of course. Listen, as soon as I leave you, I'm going down to the tables to lose some more money.
Hey, now tell us a little bit about working with Robert. What was he like as a director?
Robert Luketic, your man from down under, was really, really wonderful. He was great. The look of this movie, the style of this movie, when you see the movie, you come away going, wow, I gotta go to Vegas, I gotta go make some money, I gotta go, you know, he's really great.
What were the biggest challenges you found in filming?
Well, it's the insanity of Las Vegas. Having a group of young 20-something-year-olds in your cast, filming in active casinos with 200 through 300 extras, a crew of 200, and an active casino just operating. Filmmakers, we're used to controlling our situations, and whereas here now the casino is controlling their environment. It's bizarre.
And did you do some research? Lots of nights at the casino.
Yeah, right. The research was really difficult. We had to gamble, drink, have fun. It was tough.
Yes, it's not the meek, but the geek that'll inherit the earth. And if you'd like to see 21 on us, head to the website and click on freebies. Now, how about a Thai horror film set in Japan? Well, I just happen to have one on me. It's called Shutter, and the best thing in it is Aussie actress Rachel Taylor. We got to talking about her brand new scary movie.
When was the last thing that you passed?
This intersection about...
Shutter is based on a Thai horror film. Why did they decide to remake it?
You know, what I like about this film as opposed to some other, you know, blonde girl in ghost house kind of horror genre movies is that it's a story of betrayal. And I think, you know, the intention was just to kind of keep the story the same, and they thought that it would translate to a Western audience really well. What's this?
Spirit photography has been around since the 1800s, as long as photography itself. And I think they're trying to tell us something.
Like what?
Do you believe in it?
I don't know if I personally believe in spirit photography per se, but I believe in the world of the supernatural in general. And I think I like the message of this film, which is not so much that ghosts absolutely exist, but more that if a message is potent enough, and if you know, there is an energy from the past or the present or even the future that needs to make itself heard, then it will find a way to kind of reverberate.
What did you do to that girl? What did you do to her?
One of the things that Shutter gives us is that no matter what kind of a bastard you might be as a guy in your past, it can still come back to haunt you.
Yeah, for everyone.
And you can't just turn around and be a good guy when you decide you've met the girl you want to marry.
It's true, you know. I think it's a really good, you know, that's a really good way to put it. You can't just sweep things under the rug, guys. And I like that. I like that it has this kind of karma, what goes around comes around theme to it too.
If you like the horror genre, then safe to say this is one example of it. And speaking of things not all that scary, Sharkwater. This is one of the best documentaries you'll see this year, after Global Haywire, of course. No one is looking after the interests of this apex predator, except activist and photographer Rob Stewart. He came to Australia to talk to me about his life aquatic.
You're told your whole life, since you're a kid, sharks are dangerous. You're warned about venturing too far into the ocean, but then finally you're underwater and you see the thing that you were taught your whole life to fear, and it's perfect.
The sharks have been stereotyped as man-eaters in the media. Why do you say that isn't true?
If you look at the facts, every year there's about 7 or 10 billion swimmers swimming in areas where sharks hunt, and 60 to 90 shark bites every year that result in about 5 fatalities. You know, that makes sharks one of the least harmful large predators the planet has. If sharks ate people, the oceans would be a terrifying place.
2/3 of the world's surface is water, and over 80% of life on Earth lives in the ocean. I learned to dive so I could get close to sharks. But photographing sharks was harder than I thought. They're so afraid of us.
The movie took 4 years, 15 countries, brushes with the law. You contracted dengue fever, West Nile virus and TB all at once, yet you never gave up. So why was it so important that you keep going?
You know, when I started making Sharkwater, it was supposed to be a pretty underwater movie with no people in it. And then as you see in the film, everything changed dramatically. We started filming ourselves to keep ourselves out of prison, had pirate boat rammings and arrests, and the movie changed dramatically. It changed from a film about simply saving a species into a film about, you know, saving the ecosystems and creatures that we depend on for survival. So I figured if I can give people, you know, a new impression of sharks counter to Jaws, then maybe they'd want to fight for their protection like they fight for pandas and elephants and bears.
The word was out that fins meant money, and sharks were being killed solely for their fins in virtually every country with a coastline. There's so much money in fins that only trafficking drugs rivals fins for profit. Paul and Sea Shepherd were launching a campaign against poaching. He asked me to join the campaign to stop the illegal fishing of sharks. Okay.
So what's your status in terms of Interpol and Mafia chasing you right now?
I don't know what sort of mafia groups are chasing me right now. I think I'm okay in Costa Rica. Sharkwater hit theaters in Costa Rica in December and had a huge theatrical release. After 5 days of the movie's release, the government banned all foreign landings of sharks. And I was actually invited back to Costa Rica for the movie's release. And they told me they wouldn't arrest me, but they would arrest Paul Watson if he came. So I think I'm okay.
Trying to sink the ship. We're not stopping.
Now here's an update on the Sydney Film Festival, which kicks off June 4. Jack Black is coming to Australia for Kung Fu Panda. This looks like it could be as big as Madagascar. If you want to score a free flexi ticket to a festival film of your choice, here's how. Go to moviejuice.com.au, click on freebies, register your details and answer this question in 25 words or less. What is your favourite snack to take into a movie and why? Now, before I go, some good news about Iron Man starring Robert Downey Jr. It's a box office bonanza, so a sequel date has already been set. April 30, 2010. Hard to put in the diary because, let's face it, who's got one of those for 2010 yet? So how about checking out something that's on a little sooner? On Wednesday, May 21st at 9:30 p.m, we've got the Bra Boys documentary exclusively on Extra. It's a movie that matters. I'll see you next time.